Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And yeah, it's been a while because my internet died for the past few days. Basically, I was supposed to move my router from downstairs to upstairs into the new loft because I don't like my Ethernet cable coming in the way of the staircase. It just looks ugly. Although I really shouldn't be talking about cables because I've got so many cables just underneath my desk. But that's sort of hidden away, so that doesn't matter. But, you know, something that's visible like that going down the staircase is really annoying. So I spent around 200 quid, 75 quid for the engineer, about 130 quid, I believe, for the actual plug socket to be moved upstairs and fitted just beneath my desk. That's hella expensive. So the guy comes, he's quite a young bloke, seems quite inexperienced, so-called a BT engineer, and he done the job. Within the first hour, everything was fine. I got that blue light on my home hub 4. And obviously, that's the indication of the broadband being connected right from the landline and the phone line, all of that. So an hour later, when he leaves, the hub actually turns from blue to orange real quick. And I was like, what? This is not right. I thought, okay, this is some sort of a, automatic reset. I'm sure it'll go back to blue real quick. But it turns out the past few days, it was orange, and I had to call up customer service again. And of course, customer service, without landline and phone line, you can't use your house phone. So 0800 numbers are quite expensive on a mobile phone, which I had to use, and I had to stay there for about an hour straight for customer service to get it right and to let them know that, this issue's here. Calm down real quick. Needs to get it fixed. It sucks because, you spend that much money, you expect everything to work, but, I guess there's it's one of those things. It's frustrating. So this guy called Bob pops down today. Good old bloke, seems quite experienced. Man, hell of a bloke, man. This guy fixes the problem instantly. And now we're back with a full service and a full package. 75 meg download speed and a 20 meg upload. So pleasing to see those numbers on the speed test, because before, I think for the past month, I've been dealing with only 15 meg download and like 8 meg upload due to the TP link because of the router being downstairs. So yeah, basically, what you're watching right now, this video, this racetrack, what am I showing here? Basically, it's a nice little battle throughout. No, it's not even a little battle. It's a long-ass battle throughout the entire race. 13 minutes straight racing. This is my brand new recent creation due to the new update that they allow the prop rotations and the props to be placed anywhere, any given angle. Of course, with the barriers, you're allowed to angle it so that you can make it look like some sort of a rumble strip feel to it. It's pretty much the closest thing possible right now or multiplayer to make it feel like a rumble strip. And what does this do? It gives you guidance for the actual corner itself and also the perfect racing line. And it's quite difficult to do because not to actually hit the racing line, but to actually design the props to make sure that the car doesn't actually clip the the wheelbase doesn't clip the edge of the barrier, or sort of the edge of the rumble strip supposedly, so it doesn't bounce off to the opposite direction of where you're actually turning, because that's one of the most difficult things to actually do on Creator. But it would be just fun, or it would be just easy if rumble strips are actually there in the first place. But it doesn't matter. This now we're allowed to do this. I'm not really complaining because this is actually really awesome. Like, I genuinely enjoy the experience of racing when I can see it's a proper racetrack in front of me with where I need to go, what I'm guided to do. At the same time, it's not actually fully restricted in a sense where, yeah, you are given the freedom what you want to do, but you're doing it at your own risk, right? So, there's no barriers actually, coming in the way where if someone hits it in front of you, your car is prevented from, carrying momentum. Everything is pretty much gradual momentum, right? Where cars don't go to a halt. Yeah, what you saw at the start where my car actually flipped because I was going extremely wide and a crash occurred. Now, I was not expecting that to happen. That was pretty damn awesome though, with the way I landed on top of Ryan, and Ryan's car completely bogged down and he was not able to accelerate, so he went toppling down the cliff, and I was like, you know what, fuck you, Ryan, man, I'm gonna carry on. And damn, here we are with a 3-man battle for the entire race. But at the same time, I'm actually making an entire whole playlist based off this sort of concept, and the fact that I just wanted to emphasize real quick, this was not brought up by me. This was not my idea. This was suggested by Fatura, one of the known creators in the community of awesome racetracks. And of course, this idea was already there when this update came out. But to actually get it right, that's the difficult part. I feel like it's really it takes a lot of time. Basically, that's the way. Oh, that dive bomb, look at that parking on the inside. So The way the concept works is quite interesting. I mean, it seems quite natural, you know, it doesn't feel awkward. Like if you're approaching a corner with such a tight angle, like what you saw there, Picano went for the dive bomb and approached it at a tight angle with the apex. Yeah, sure, his car went on 2 wheels, but that's expected. Now, if you take an actual racing line, like for example, there what you saw, he cut in tight on the right hander, he went on 2 wheels, lost a lot of speed because he didn't take the actual racing line. That to me makes sense, you know. If you take the actual racing line over the rumble strip to the 2 wheels, you would not get that effect of the, you know, the 2 wheels coming up, you know, getting that airtime. So that's pretty sick, you know. That's the way you want to design it. Now you can go with whatever you want, whatever sort of design you're looking for with the barriers and the options given. Go with the striped barriers, long, you know, plain barriers, mix it together, make it look nice. You can go with the orange barrier and the small white one because that's the only one they've got available. You know, whatever that you feel that's going to make it look nice, because at the end of the day, you know, you can't actually make it look like a proper rumble strip, but you can make it feel like a proper rumble strip, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, look at that. The guy cut through the entire corner, gets airtime, loses out speed, bogs down, go for the overtake. Makes sense. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool, and I would definitely like to see how people would go about with this sort of concept, how people would approach it. Like the way I've intended, and what the fuck am I saying? The way I've intended my design and the approach of where I place the barriers is based off my knowledge of how I would take the optimal racing line for the quickest lap times, and where my car would hit at what corner, and how my car would exit is all through the motions of the car, you know. That's where you got to put the barriers down in appropriate places in order to make it look like a rumble strip. At the end of the day, you know, you don't want to put these barriers and these props at useless spots. If the car's not going to go there, you know, then it's just, what's the point, right? It's one of those things. So, damn, man, like, it's nice. It's one of those things. It's nice to see. It's nice. It's definitely like these roads, it works really well on Tonga roads and whatever, like city roads. Yeah, you've got lampposts and shit like that on the corners. I don't see the point. I mean, yeah, I guess you could have it there, but it's one of those, holy shit, my car oversteered. Hella. Wanted to give out a kind of space there. Well, what lap are we on now? I think we've got 2 more laps. You know, it's getting really tense. And the Pac Mars in the lead, and Picano's trying to fight for a position. I believe he's going to grab it here. Not sure, because he does cut in with a really nice wide line there. I try to keep it defensive, but this point, this is kind of stupid because I think I left the inside open. I'm not really sure. Let's see. But never mind. Actually, wait a minute. That was the previous lap. What the fuck am I talking about? So here, he's actually keeping up, right? But we're catching up to Pac. So Pac's right now got about 1.5 second lead, whereas Picano's right on my bumper, right, literally like 1 car length behind. But you see that bit there? See that bit there? That right hand side barrier and this section, this S line section there. That's pretty cool if you get it right. If you get that line right, it's really nice, because essentially the barriers on the right, you know, if they weren't there, then you could put your entire car there on that dirt to get a really comfortable entrance to the S line bit. But because I put the barriers on the outside, it makes it a little bit uncomfortable, or I suppose not easy to take the line throughout the rest of that course of the S line bit. So that's where basically my philosophy went into with the design, right? And so for some parts of the track, you feel like it's quite naked, it's quite open, but that's intended so that the flow is balanced, because I don't want to make every little corner, you know, just slap it rumble strips. Unfortunately, we don't really have, you know, well, enough props to do this properly. It depends how you manage the props. You only got 100 props to put down, right? I keep saying rumble strips, but you know what I'm saying, referring to the barriers, placing down the appropriate spots to make it look like rumble strips. But yeah, here's the thing, man. Like, it depends. To make this look right, to make it feel right, you gotta put it the appropriate spots. See that on the left? There's a barrier right there, because if it wasn't there, you could always obviously take it more of a wider approach to get a comfortable feel throughout this entire section. For example, here as well, you can't really cut in too tight, but then on the exit of this, it's gonna go wide anyway like that, and holy shit, that was uncomfortable. Here, I'm probably thinking of putting it here as well in the double right-hander, because if you're cutting tight, you're carrying less distance for the entire thing. But if you carry the high revs and go max speed throughout this entire section, see the left and right barriers there? Now, that's interesting, because people can be lazy and just like cut through the grass bit with the 2 wheels and just take a straight line. But then that's not the point. Obviously, if you're trying to make a racetrack feeling, you want to sort of put those barriers there to make it feel like a rumble strip, so that if people do go over that, the cars will get that 2-wheel motion. It's quite epic. You're gonna carry a lot of speed, but the car does become unstable. So it's like, yo, man, that shit is uncomfortable as fuck. So you want to obviously control it. You want to be able to take the proper racing line, and that's what the guidance is there, provided by these barriers and these placements. And it's so nice to be able to rotate props, and it's actually amazing to actually put props down with no restrictions. You can literally put props anywhere you want, with any given angle, and because of that, I've got an entire playlist I'm working on based off these roads and these sections where you can actually put barriers down without any issues. And this is something that I wanted to do for a long time. You know, now that there's no more prop glitching, and I think about the amount of time that we've spent prop glitching, right? All those hours. And that's what I'm saying, you know, it's a bit delayed, it's a bit late with this update, but it's nice to have it because it's refreshing. You know, just to put barriers just next to each other to get that OCD satisfaction, right? Where you don't see any gaps between barriers, just keep it straight as possible. That took ages. Obviously, there was a technique behind it where people have to eventually master, but still took time. Whereas this, literally just slap it on, allow prop stacking, that's it, bang. Nice and smooth. Just like that, you see the water props on the left-hand side, just not go wide and take a laser line there. That's there. It was easy to put down, bang, you know, no worries, nothing. This right here, 3-man, oh my lord. I don't know why Pagano's doing on the outside, but that lamppost sent him flying. That's unfortunate because now we're going into the last lap. He could have joined us. It could have been a three-man way all the way to the end. That's unfortunate shit happened. He does eventually catch up because at this point, me and Pac-Man are going at it, right? Obviously, he doesn't want to give away his position. He's trying to defend as much as he can. I'm trying to get as close as possible to apply as much pressure as possible. Now, near enough here, unfortunately, took a really weird approach from that corner. And I was able to carry more revs through this section. Now, I'm trying to hold it on the outside if I could, but obviously covering more distance, so it's not great. So I'm cutting back on the inside because he already had the inside beforehand. And I'm trying to hold it on the outside. And this was possible. This was insane. So literally, side by side, I'm holding on the outside. He cuts on the inside with equal speed and bang. Ooh, that was insane. See, our cars did not touch there. That's the beauty of it. Our cars did not touch. And the way the motion of both cars, you know, just the way, I don't know, the way the cars just shifted, it was just awesome. Just that feeling was sick, you know. And to get into those feeling, man, you gotta really just keep racing, just build up chemistry, whatever, you know. Just know, you gotta know what you're doing, you know, in these situations. It's not predicting, it's anticipating, it's about knowing, you know. Unfortunately, the car did come in the way. There's a race car, Masacro, what is that, stock? I don't know, man. I'm actually quite excited. I don't know why I feel so excited during this commentary, but I'll tell you what, man. It's refreshing. It's refreshing indeed. Just by looking at this game, right? It's 2 years later, man. We've gone past the anniversary. What a start of you know, what the hell is that, man? So the game still feels new. That's what I'm trying to say here, brothers. And now I'm actually quite glad my internet connection is stable. I don't have to race in laggy conditions, because that's one hell of an annoying thing. You know, when you're racing, you're spending so much time racing, you know, in a lap after lap, and all of a sudden some sort of lag spike, unstable connection can fucking the entire thing up. You know, you sat there wasted so much time when you could have went to the gym, lost so much calories instead, man. So, you know, but yeah, so, oh, Pac's trying to go for a dive, but I'm trying to hold on the outside. Managed to do it obviously on the inside section there. You just try to keep tapping that right, the left stick inside, and get a nice straight line through here. And a lot of people, I see when a lot of people take lines, they don't really maximize the revs to the fullest. You know, try to straighten out your car as quickly as possible. That's the #1 priority. On these curvy bends, you got to stick to the inside as much as you can as well. And yeah, you can see here just the way the car is. Like, personally, I've not really used the right stick as much recently. I only use it for battling and stuff. There's cars nearby, but when it comes to the actual racing line, you don't really have to use it anymore. I don't know why. Maybe we're used to the game, maybe used to the roads and the throttling and the pinpoint accurate racing lines to be taken, optimal lines, I guess. And that's something I'll talk about. I've got different camera views as well, which I'm currently using for certain tracks to make it comfortable and consistent to consistently go quick. Some, you know, for example, cutting corners and muscling. I don't use the furthest camera view anymore, nor do I use the right stick. So anyway, there you guys have it. Try it out. Galileo circuit. I'm working on the entire playlist. And so I'm currently also working on my second track as well. So make sure you guys try it out. Link in the description below once again. Thanks for watching. Sign out. Good night. Peace. Yeah.